in the past, we've only had the technology like Falco to be like, alert, alert, something weird is happening. But what QMarbor can actually do is it can stop it from happening in the first place.
Because I am inside as well. So I think we found the hell, to be honest. I don't think there's lava. I think it's this.
Very first line of code ever to cloud developer, all within a year. It was pretty wild.
Hello everyone, welcome to TechCraft, the show where we talk about tech while playing Minecraft badly. Maybe, who knows? We'll see how the playing goes. Today we have our guest Whitney, is a lovable goofball and a CNCF Ambassador who enjoys understanding and using tools in the cloud-native landscape. Creative and driven, Whitney recently pivoted from an art-related career to one in tech. You can catch her lightboard streaming show Enlightning on Tanzu TV, and she also co-hosts the streaming show You Choose, a choose your own adventure style journey through CNCF landscape alongside Viktor Farcic. Welcome to the show, Whitney. Have you played Minecraft before?
Thank you for having me. And yes, actually I have played before, but not in many, many, many years. I have a son. He's 24 years old now. And when he was a child, we played a lot of Minecraft together, especially through like an Xbox interface.
Like a console,
also,
yeah.
Yeah, but also on the PC too back then. But yes, so I know what things are. I know that somebody's named Steve somewhere, and I can break stuff.
Well, that's
we'll
good.
See. I think it's going to be a blast from the past. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. You know everything that you need to know then. That's all good. We can refresh some of the old skills then. Perfect. So here we are in the Minecraft world. That's good. So we're gonna, we can explore. We can go see the structure that we built with a speaker before. Do we want to start going to the structure first, or what do you think?
Yes, I was just trying to make you fall, but it looks like you're flying. I was totally just opening the stream by trying to prank you by digging you into a hole while you're talking, but that didn't work out.
Yeah. Tricking me
Rude,
doing the flying.
Right?
We can go for the holes though, and we can start, moving around and whatnot. Talking about the show that you do with Viktor.
Oh yeah?
You did like a security related show recently as well. Was there any good insight there?
It's way more than a show. It's a whole season of security-related stuff. So let me tell you about the series in general, if that's okay.
Perfect.
I don't know if this is okay. Cool. I'm just going toward this structure in the game.
Yeah, I think that sounds really good.
So it's a choose-your-own-adventure style journey through the CNCF landscape. So for our streaming show, what we do is we have a system design choice. And then we present all of the CNCF projects that can do that thing. So let's say at the very beginning of the series, our very first system design choice was to build a container image. I'm having a hard time multitasking. So anyway, with building the container image, we had a few different CNCF technologies that could do it. Carvel K-Build, we had Cloudy to Build packs, and we had Lima, which was really Containerd, which was really Build Kit, if I'm remembering correctly. And so we have a presenter on to present about each projects, and each presenter gets only 5 minutes, and we will cut them off. I was going to build a downward stairway into hell.
Oh, that's cool.
Because that's something I can do. Period. It matches my skill level. Oh, I'm going to need candles though. Right?
Oh, this game, there's no, this is the classic version, so there's no need for the torches because there's no monsters. And also the best part about digging down to hell is that the lava won't kill you. So there's no danger of that either.
Nice. So we're just going to watch Whitney dig herself into a little tunnel. So we have presenters that present about each CNCF project, and each person gets 5 minutes to present, no more than 5 minutes, because we want it to be just a quick overview of what the project does. Like, we don't want people to dig into the nitty gritty of whatever. And it's fun to have to threaten people and cut them off when they talk too long. Viktor actually got a gong and gongs them if they speak longer than 5 minutes.
Oh,
So
that's nice. That's really good.
So after the end of the 5 minutes, and after each guest gets to present, then we have a question and answer part with the live chat. And then we put it to a vote. And then folks vote on which technology they want to see implemented into the ongoing demo. And so then whichever one wins in the next episode will implement that technology.
That's super nice. I, by the way, just started widening your road to the hell, if that's fine for you. That I
Your
do
last
a bit
guest
of landscaping.
built like a perfect little structure.
I like it. It's creative.
That was like chapter 1, episode 1 was that building container image one decision. And then that chapter we did pushing the image to a registry. We did adding application configuration. We did adding HTTPS with Cert Manager, those sorts of things. So now chapter 1 took us from code on a developer's laptop through to a development environment, that code running in a development environment in Kubernetes. Chapter 2 took us from that development environment into a production environment. But that was really just with GitOps and just with using infrastructure as code to provision the cluster and Ingress. So basically only those 3 things. So it's production, but it wasn't really production. It really gets us set up to do other chapters. So we're doing a chapter now about security. And so we'll add security to our production cluster. And then our next chapter, which probably won't happen to the summer or fall, will be about observability.
Sounds really good. And actually, yeah.
Oh, you asked me a question. I was going to give more context about where we are right now in the story, if that's okay.
Yeah, I would like to hear it. Yeah. I do have one question because I'm a fan of the show after that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, how about question first? We can cover everything.
Yeah, well, because so recently I've been learning, well, not learning deeply, mostly just watching online videos on about it, but how like it's super nice to give children when they're growing up like choice, like, oh, do you want to wear this or this outfit? And it got me thinking about like how genius your guys like the show concept is about like choosing as well, but how it like I guess engages people more. Like what's the kind of thinking? Like how do you think the learning is much easier or better?
They have a vote to cast in the end. Like they have a stake in the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we also, I think that translates even more to we do a conference talk with the same, all the learnings that we pick up from doing the streaming show will condense into a conference talk that also has a live voting element. So, I'll explain all the system design choices and why we make them. I'll explain all the possible tech that could go into that system design choice. And then people will vote in real time during the conference talk. And then Viktor will implement a live ongoing demo based on what the audience chooses in the conference talk. So it's pretty similar to what you said. Like, it's dynamic and people get to choose.
That's really nice. And I think you gave a KubeCon keynote with that talk, or?
It's true. So for chapter 1, we made that into a regular KubeCon talk. I'm getting my cities mixed up now. I think that was in Amsterdam. And then chapter 2 got to be a KubeCon keynote at KubeCon China. And now chapter 3 on security is going to be a KubeCon talk coming up here in Paris soon.
Oh,
and
that's really
by
nice.
the way, I happen to see that you're giving a KubeCon talk and yours involves Dance Dance Revolution. That sounds really cool.
It does. It should be a lot of fun. I've been telling everyone that it's a bit of an unorthodox session. Not that, choose your own adventure. It wouldn't be unorthodox either. But I'm very excited for it. My co-speaker said that one of his goals is to just get to play DRD on the stage in KubeCon. And I was like, that is a life goal. And, we went for it with the session then, I think so. But it should have a lot of technical detail and it's about MLOps and whatnot. So it should be really interesting as well on that level. So looking forward to that one.
That's freaking awesome. I'm really looking forward to it too. I'll so be there.
That's good. And by the way,
yeah.
while we're now building this pathway to hell potentially, or at least like an underground layer, I understand that you have like an art background and you went to university for art and everything. And I'm
Yes.
super fascinated by this. I've even read like a tiny book that's called Things I Learned in Art School or something like that. So what were like your most biggest learnings from art school?
Oh. Well, I think I think maybe in art school more than other places, you're encouraged to and rewarded for doing things differently than other people. I think maybe I trained up some lateral thinking during art school. I think that's the biggest answer that comes to mind. Or just to think like, okay, what assumptions are being made here? Or what are people thinking that they're afraid to say? Like, what's a truth that's like hidden in here that I can point out with my artwork or something? And also, the rest of like, I have an art degree, but but it's a photography degree, and then I ended up being a wedding photographer for like over a decade. So I graduated college in 2003, quite a long time ago now. So that's what you get from me. That's my answer.
That's good. Creativity and like out of the box thinking.
Yeah, lateral thinking, definitely.
Yeah. Lateral thinking. And actually talking about like lateral thinking, I love talking to people about their favorite underappreciated CNCF project. So what was your favorite that doesn't get enough like attention as it should be?
So I didn't quite close the loop on the current security chapter that we're on right now. So I'm going to answer both. I'm going to finish that loop, and I'm going to talk about one of the projects I really like that I learned about as part of the journey. For our security stuff, so I'm a new learner in tech, and what helps me a lot is to have examples. So I gave an example of like one system design choice, but mostly I've been talking about these choose your own adventure stuff pretty abstractly. So I think it would be nice to say like some of the security system design choices that we did shows around. And the first one we did was admission controller policy. So I think I didn't realize how much that could really how powerful a tool that is, and how much it can like because it's powerful, it's pretty dangerous too if you get it wrong. And so that's been interesting to learn about. So admission controller is just like deciding what is allowed to run in your cluster at a Kube API level. And then we talked about policies related to runtime. So with that, we talked about Falco, a threat detector, like a runtime. So it both of these technologies watch the system calls at the kernel level. And so it's not thinking about the Kube API anymore, and it's not thinking about the abstraction of like what your specific Kubernetes or application is. And so Falco is pretty well known. I think it's a graduated project. And then the other one is new, and it's called KubeArmor. And I really like it because it uses LSMs, which are Linux security modules, which are like access control modules to the Linux kernel, in combination with eBPF, which is a technology you could use to inspect and manipulate system calls. And it uses those two together to be able to, you can profile what system calls should be allowed to come through your kernel. And the ones that, if anything comes through that's suspicious, like for example, this file should only be opened by this application. And then if any other application or process tries to open that file, it will. In the past, we've only had the technology like Falco to be like, alert, something weird is happening. But what KubeArmor can actually do is it can stop it from happening in the first place. So you never get to a place where it even happens at all.
Oh, even better. That sounds really good.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that one was super cool because even when it did win the vote, so it got demoed. And so even when it was demoed, it's like Viktor's like, hey, pretend I'm an attacker in this cluster and I'm LSing to see what's here. And like, but really, there's no reason anyone in a production Kubernetes cluster should need to run an ls command. So I'm going to block that from happening, and then did the cube armor thing, and then it showed us trying to run LS, and you can't do it anymore. And it's like, yeah, that makes so much sense. I think it's I think it's cool. Anyway, so I don't know if it's unsung. I think it's pretty new, but it's been the one that's impressed me a lot lately. I kind of thought we would hit we would hit hell by now. I thought this was going to be a little more interesting because when I played many years ago, I remember eventually it opening up into big caves that were explorable and lava and stuff.
Yeah, so I've played the classic version where I think you at least hit like the bedrock, so you hit the ground or lava there or whatnot. And I think in this version, which is the classic cube version,
do you think there is no hell here?
So I haven't been able to make it down to hell in this version, but maybe it will happen. I don't know. We can also pivot our plan and do like a underground lair or something to build like a little cave inside here or something.
Okay. I would like that. Even though we don't need candles, can we make can we have them anyway for ambiance?
So there's no crafting in this game. So this game, like the classic version, it's very cuddled, very beautiful. You can't die. It's all nice, but also no crafting, no dying of lava, none of the kind of those sides as well. But there is, you can do the little bushes, so like the leaves, or you can do the glass blocks as well. So we can leave those as markers, and the same way that you would leave torches as well. Okay,
let's do it. Let's make an underground layer. Maybe we'll find hell laterally.
Exactly. That sounds good. Actually, talking about the photography degree and the art school background, I'm actually very interested. So is there something that you would like to improve in like tech photography, either in like product or team pictures or something? What do you see that should be improved in tech scene as far as photos go?
I got burnt out, and I haven't taken a photograph like with my SLR. First of all, I was a professional photographer for well over a decade. I photographed over 500 weddings probably. And then I quit really suddenly because I'm like, I can't take this anymore. And my brother actually is a musician, and his band in 2014 got some notoriety. And he asked me if I wanted to tour in the band with him. And I was like, heck yes, I do. And I quit everything I was doing. I refunded couples their wedding money. My partner at the time, we'd been together 8 years. They weren't supportive, so I broke up with them. I put all my stuff into storage, and I lived out of a van for a year, touring in the band.
A proper change for sure, yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think I've touched my camera since then. And I don't really judge people's photos in that way. I just am not in life in general, I'm very much like, I limit my sphere of concern to my sphere of influence. If someone asks for my opinion, I'd have them. But I don't look at someone's photo and be like, oh, they could do better, whatever. What are they doing? My brain just says, I have a very kind mind and a very worry about my own business and nothing else kind of mind.
Oh, I like it. That's surround yourself with positivity to bring positivity into your life in general, as well as for obviously general niceness as well. I love that. I do that as well as much as I can. It's really good attitude in my opinion.
That's wonderful. That's really cool. I have maybe a vision for our layer. So maybe
what if stopped then working?
Well, actually, I can maybe do this so I have this idea of making a spiral staircase going upward now.
Ooh, that sounds good.
But maybe we can use glass on the parts. We should have let's try to make this a nicer shape. Maybe just on this side, we can square it up so it's not, so we have clean edges. Let's start there.
Let's do that. Perfect. You just tell me what to do and I'll obey all the commands here. Do you have the vision ready, or do you want to start building that, or do you want what's the kind of next, or do we want to block up still more?
What's going on? Ooh.
Yeah, Oh, did you disappear into the wall?
I think I did.
That's interesting. Well, I can kind of see you there. But hey, now you're becoming a ghost. That's fine.
Yeah. I get that's part of getting to hell, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It's the weird phenomenon that starts happening, So while we're blocking this off, the session that you have done before is called the most treacherous trek to development, or like treacherous trek to development. What do you think, in your opinion, is the most treacherous point in when you're making those selections, when you're like choosing your CNCF projects, for example, for your development, or I guess the most important or the most challenging one from your side, essentially?
So in that particular chapter, we talked about building your container image. That's straightforward. It's not too treacherous. Then all the tools are good, so you can't, really mess that up. I mean, in general, all the tools are good, so you can't mess that up. And then we talked about storing the container in a registry. I think Harbor is pretty much the best CNCF choice for that. Our other choice is even integrated with Harbor. Then we have writing your application configuration. I think my problem here in the game is just that something's buggy on me and I don't know what's happening anymore. So I think maybe I wish you could see my screen right now. Can you? Or are you with me?
I think I actually found the same bug as you have right now, because I am inside as well. So I think we found the hell, to be honest. I don't think there's lava. I think it's this. I think we have like gone beyond the fabric of this world.
That pleases me. I like lateral thinking. I like it couldn't have gone better. Yeah. Okay. So I guess we'll go back. I don't even know if I can go back to the surface, because even when I try to climb the stairs, I'm lost.
You're going outside them?
Yeah.
Can you fly on? Oh, can you just fly through the space though?
Let's try. So press space. I think
I see you. You're like way over there. Perfect.
It says no clip on instead of fly on. I seem to be going up by pressing fly.
I can see you moving.
I'm an elevator.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
so
flying through everything as well. Yeah.
Choosing your application configuration is probably a place where you could go wrong. Where if you, going wrong is not really. You can always step back and refactor, but it's a place where maybe you could choose something that's not great for your use case. Mostly when I say that, I'm thinking about customize is awesome, but it's simplistic. And so if you might need something more powerful than that. And then we talked about Helm, which is very common and especially good for consuming third-party tools. And it's like a templating kind of thing. So that's another thing we haven't talked about yet, is that I transitioned to tech from wedding photography in 2019 and started my cloud career in 2020. So I knew everything. So I always have an urge to, which I like my urge. I stand by it, to explain everything from the very beginning. So sometimes I state the obvious, but I think I'd rather state the obvious sometimes than make assumptions and lose people and they're not included in the conversation.
I think that's a really good attitude. Yeah. It's always good not to assume.
So Helm uses a templating strategy where the values that are made that are specific to the particular deployment are factored out and included in a values.yaml file. And so that's good for when there are a lot of permutations, but there are other tools that are maybe less known that can do as good of a job or maybe better, depending on who's writing your application configuration. So one is, I'm just flying around now. What if, if we pick flowers, we can't keep them, can we? And
we can't, but we can plant bushes if we want, or like these the treetops as well if we want to do like some gardening.
I was thinking it would be, since we probably don't have time to build our own structure, maybe we could just make our friend's structure beautiful. Like do some landscape design.
Yeah. So if you see in your controls, there's the different blocks. So you can select, or you can push, I think it's 6. Oh, no, it's 7. If you click 7, you can do these bushes or like the treetops essentially. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm lost though. I don't know where our friend's structure is.
Oh, we can try find it. Let's go a bit up and then we should be able to find it. It's not an endless world, it's an island. So, there's only a limited amount of spaces where it can
I found it.
Perfect. Good finding. Very fast.
So with CDKs, you can use. First of all, you are dealing with simplified Kubernetes abstraction, so only the knobs you need are shown to you, and then also you can import CDKs as a library and use it in your IDE, and then you can write application configuration in whatever language you want. Well, it's like JavaScript, Java, TypeScript, Python, and Go. So not any language you want, but a lot of languages. I forget how to fall down. Z
one
again?
click of Z, yeah.
No. Fly on, no clip on.
Fly on, no clip on. So I think we might have found the heaven maybe then. We can get out from here.
I'm here for it. Can I put stuff up here?
We can try.
Can I put blocks
at
up?
least
it seems like
I don't
not.
think I can. Okay, we might be stuck here.
I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fly. Around.
We can check out the island from all different, points of view.
And then Carvel YTT, it's part of the Carvel tools set. It does patching the same way Customize does, and it does templating the same way Helm does, but it does it all within YAML. It uses the YAML comments to add like dynamic capabilities. And because that, it can always be processed and validated as YAML. So I think it's pretty cool. So I think YTT and CDKs are both pretty exciting developments in the newer tools that can be more interesting or maybe useful than Helm. So that
sounds really good.
One treacherous point. And then the other probably biggest treacherous point would be choosing which tool to use to help you do application development in Kubernetes. A couple notable ones there are telepresence, which that one actually it takes your requests that are going to your cluster and it can redirect them so your actual real traffic goes to your machine and you can work with it there. So it's great for local debugging. So that's a cool one. It opens up a tunnel between your machine and the cluster you're working in. And then the other one is dev space. And that one is just, you spend a lot of time, there should be a Kubernetes expert on the team to make your dev space YAML to define everything about your development environment. But once that's done, you should be able to run like a dev space dev command and have your whole environment just spin up for you automatically. So when that happens, then you don't have to keep your environment running all the time. You can even like on a daily basis, you could spin it up in the morning, develop, and then spin it, take it down. But also it makes onboarding a lot easier, bringing new people on to your project or your team. So those are cool.
Sounds really good. Yeah. Those are really good points to avoid then, or like not avoid, tread carefully, I guess. And then we could do a lightning round. I would love to get your kind of takes on a few this or that questions. That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. So kicking us off, tabs or spaces?
Oh, definitely spaces. Does someone say tabs? I thought
some people prefer tabs. It's a big division, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. So Mac, Windows, or Linux?
It depends on what you're doing.
I think that's the true answer. Yeah. I think that's the reality, to be honest. Then iOS or Android?
iOS. I've fallen. I figured it out. iOS. Oh, iOS. I use iOS. I like. Yeah, I like the privacy.
How did you manage to fall down,
So I
by the way?
had no clip on, which is why I couldn't fall, I think. And then I pressed X to disable no clip. And then I could fall.
Perfect. I'm now falling as well.
Yeah.
Oh. Good debugging there.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Shows how much I played this version of Minecraft as well.
And now I'll make a secret tunnel.
Oh, that's good as well. That sounds like a good plan. Final few of the lightning round questions. Agile or waterfall?
Do people say waterfall?
I doubt it. I think a lot of people likely. Actually, we had in the last episode, we had a really good discussion around this, that, Agile is the one that everyone wants to do. But then if you're doing projects to customers, you actually you might end up doing more waterfall, because if you need to approve everything with a customer, for example, so you would be doing kind of more of a waterfall type of development cycle. But it's I think Agile is the trendy one for sure. Yeah.
And everything can be overdone too.
Exactly. Java versus Python?
Oh, I have no opinion.
That's totally fine as well. Microservices or monoliths?
Does any cloud person say monolith?
There could be people.
Yeah, I'm only a second guess. Yeah. I don't actually have an opinion, but I'm more like, I'm surprised. Like, is this, I don't know.
Yeah. I've seen a few takes on nowadays actually defending monolith. As a bit of a microservices person, I can't fully back the case or make the case, but in some cases, the microservices might actually cause more work than in monolith cases, or that's what at least the people who've said that, publicly, we're using monolith because of these and these reasons, because for our case, it just made more sense and whatnot. Kind of there could be some reasons around there.
I think that's kind of my urge to not actually express an opinion, but instead to ask a question, because I think there is to me an answer that's popular. But then I don't like saying, no, this one's better, because who knows? I think I feel that about everything.
Exactly. But to be honest, the next one, I could imagine what you reply to this one, but you could actually ask a question to this one as well, which this is the last one. So open source versus closed source.
Oh. I mean, again, everything in my world, it not only is open source, but really it's kind of a combination thereof. But then there's closed source stuff built on top of that open source stuff. So I think maybe the open source couldn't live without the closed source stuff around it that is making somebody some money. So it feels symbiotic.
I do actually very much agree in that sense that, even though I think we both, as very close to CNCF and Kubernetes, we love open source and we like it a lot. But I think the reality is that usually these two go in hand as well. So as you said, usually you have open source and then you might have closed source next to it, near it, top of it, something as well. Or to be honest, a mix of those two. So, source available or any of these other ones. So it's not really that black and white. So that's actually, you're giving the actual realistic answers. I like it a lot.
Pragmatic. Well, I dig another tunnel.
Endless tunnel through the world. Actually, I can't make it through the walls anymore, so we made it out of that.
Our bug.
That we created. Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty fabulous.
But it's good. Yeah, that was good. Actually, I really liked it. It was very, very fun to see the bottom of the world in a way. Cool. Anything else that you want to kind of mention or?
I have a couple of fun streaming shows that we've talked about already, but one is the You Choose, which you can find on the DevOps Toolkit YouTube channel. And then the other one is Enlightning, which involves this lightboard that's behind me. And for that show, I have a guest come on and teach me about an open source technology. And basically, I'm pretty much a blank slate. I don't know anything. Although I do tend to do them in groups. Like I did all the service mesh ones in a group, and I did all the access control ones in a group. So by the time I'm doing the third one of that kind, I at least have some context. But anyway, it's fun. It's a fun, longer format kind of discussion show where I start from zero. An expert explains everything to me from scratch. I ask a lot of clarifying questions, and then I draw it out on the board. And so with the board, besides just being a fun visual thing, it keeps me honest. I can't pretend I understand anything I don't actually understand. But it is a really fun and kind show, and we have a friendly chat, and it's a good time. So come hang out with us while we're streaming or watch the recordings. That's on tanzu.tv/enlightning. It's probably easier just to go to Tanzu-TV and then find Enlightning, because it's spelled like the pun, like in and then the word lightning instead of, yeah, it's spelled incorrectly.
And you can actually, I think I found episodes as well if I just put your name to YouTube, for example, as well. So that was also a good, easy way.
Right on.
Or maybe.
Cool. I definitely can be found on the internet.
That's possible. Good. Do we want to continue digging and talking more about different tasks, or are we finished now?
Oh, I'll dig with you as long as you want. Do you think we can come out the other side? That'd be exciting. I didn't pay enough attention when I went in to.
If we are on, didn't we start on ground level?
Yeah, we did. We were even with water.
Yeah.
I think we can maybe.
We should be able to probably come out from the other side if we aren't like going to be hitting the edge of the world somehow, if we haven't like, it's a square essentially.
Yeah.
So see where it leads us. We can see it. It's all good.
I'm here
because I would actually love to talk to you about, like, because you've talked a bit about the fact that you learned to do code and tech relatively recently. So, you made it there. Perfect.
I'm gonna jump out now.
Where are we? What can
we
see?
Oh, I can't jump out. We're at the edge. Okay,
are we at the edge?
You're never gonna go this way.
Yeah. Well, we made it. Oh, we can make it there as well. That's good. So while we're making our way there, so I think did you learn it in Bootcamp, and how was that experience? And was it good?
I went to a Bootcamp. So I went on tour in that band for a year, and I came back, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life, but I know what I didn't want to do, and that was wedding photography. Wedding photography. Yeah. And so it's
good to know at least what not to do. Yeah.
It's not often I speak negatively about a thing, but wedding photography is one of those things. And so for a while, I actually worked in restaurants as a server. And then my son was in college, and he was getting his computer science degree, a CS degree. And he was like, "Mom, you would like this. You would like coding." And I listened to him, and I tried not even an actual boot camp yet, just like a prerequisite course to get into the boot camp. And I was like, "Oh yeah, this is fun." So it was like the January of 2019, I wrote my first line of code. And then I spent hundreds of hours getting good enough to pass the entrance exam for the boot camp. And then I spent hundreds of hours doing all the pre-course work before the actual boot camp. And then the boot camp started in July of 2019. And I did 11-hour days, 6 days a week for 3 months as part of the boot camp.
Oh, that's a lot.
And graduated in October of 2019, and then had a job as a cloud developer at IBM in November of 2019. So it all, from my very first line of code ever to cloud developer, all within a year. It was pretty wild.
Really cool and very impressive as well.
I recommend the experience. Yes. Even though my boot camp was all about full stack web dev, and I didn't actually learn any Kubernetes I learned how to containerize an application, and I deployed it onto like a Nginx web server on a VM. I didn't know really what I was doing, but now in retrospect, I know that's what I was doing. I was following some instructions on the site. So I did do a little bit, but not much. And it worked out great.
Oh, that's good. That sounds really good and fun.
I actually study a lot, even now. I always, so that I can learn everything as quickly as I do and talk about and memorize it to the point where I can talk about it casually when I'm, say, playing Minecraft. But more importantly, while I'm giving a conference talk, I don't have any speaker notes or anything. So I have to be able to rattle through all the projects for each of these conference talks that I do. And so I'm getting them slowly but surely, kind of memorizing not what they all do and what differentiates them from the other ones that are similar.
That's learning in a nutshell. You start by mimicking, you start by just copying, obviously in a nice way, not in a, mean way, but just start by learning, copying, just doing whatever other people have done, and then you start kind of inventing on your own a tiny bit on top of it and so forth. Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask a ton of questions. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. It's actually very freeing to never pretend like you know something you don't know. It makes me feel, that's the thing that makes me feel comfortable getting up in front of an audience and talking, is because if someone asks me a question I don't know, I'm just going to say I don't know. I'm going to be my full and genuine self the whole time.
I agree. Honestly, when I was starting doing tech speaking, I was always so nervous about questions from the audience. And I always felt like I have to have a perfect answer or something. But very, very fast when I realized that all the most experienced speakers, they will just say, I don't know, like, that's a good question. Let's find out together or something like that. I think that was the best learning. And we made it to the other side.
Oh, we did. I'm having a nice time.
And we found beautiful flowers as well on this side as well. That's cool.
Perfect. Yay.
Good.
Awesome.
And I think we are pretty much at time. Anything else that you want to final mention or kind of plug off or anything like that?
Just a big thank you to you for putting together this game and this conversation. It's been really fun. Thank you for having me.
That's lovely to hear. I love to hear that. Hopefully it was good, and hopefully everyone learned something while listening and watching us play Minecraft. I think quite well. We found some bugs as well.
I'm going to give
as
you
well. So today,
a kiss. A goodbye kiss.
Perfect. It's working out, I think. Or you're just trying to prank me and pushing me into the water.
Oh, am I? No, I was really trying to kiss you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And I was saved by a ledge with a flower, so that's good.